I'm Sienna.
Oh no, I missed it. Okay, go ahead.
Hey, I'm Sienna.
And I'm Madison.
And you're listening. Hey, I'm Sienna.
And I'm Madison.
I'm sorry. Yelling at them.
Really embarrassing. Okay, here we go.
Hi, I'm Sienna.
And I'm Madison.
And you're listening to the Just a Person podcast.
Hi everybody, welcome to Just a Person podcast, a show that explores life's highs, lows, and in-betweens. I'm Madison, and today we're talking to Liz. Liz talks to us about how she discovered her love for running, what it was like breaking her leg at the state track meet, and what her recovery journey looked like. Thanks so much for listening, and enjoy. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Liz, welcome on our show.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so I'm going to pick our question for the day out of the hat. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Would you rather travel back in time to meet your ancestors or to the future to meet your descendants?
That's a good question. I think I would travel into the future to meet my descendants.
Why is that?
Because I kind of just want to see what the world looks like in the future, to see if any kind of change that we're trying to implement now actually comes through, and also global warming, all that.
See if you have any descendants.
Exactly.
I guess I'm not sure if I'm gonna have any descendants, but I am more probably curious to see the future. Same thing, because it's like you have at least I have no idea what the world's gonna be like in 100 years, let alone thousands and thousands of years from now. To me, there's just so much that could happen, and I would really, really love to see it.
Okay. I'm going to say the opposite. I would rather go to the past because I do not want to see the future. I don't know why. I just don't. I don't know if I'm scared or what, but I do not want to know what happens.
See, I've always wanted the future. I used to when I was little, I would actually get really upset because I'd be upset I was born in the time period I was born in. I didn't think it was fair. I wanted to be born way, way, way more in the future, because I feel like there's so much that I'm missing and that I'm never gonna know about or see, and it would bother me, everything that I'm not knowing.
All right, interesting. All right, so Liz, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Why don't you introduce us first to yourself like you would in the first day of college when they're stand up and say, what's your fun fact? I would love to know.
Okay, interesting. So, hi. I guess since we didn't have in-person class, well, not that many in-person classes, I'm kind of rusty at this. But hi, I'm Liz. I'm a rising senior at the University of Central Florida, majoring in entertainment management.
Why did I think you're about to say that you're a rising star?
So did I.
Right there, rising star to fame, You're lucky this one's free. So, the price is going up. But see, since I go to school in Florida, my fun fact is always that I'm from Michigan. So, that's kind of an easy way out.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one, though. That's kind of nice to have.
Yeah, so it's oh my goodness, she's from out of state. Whoa, Michigan? So, always a good talking point.
So what was your childhood like, your family growing up?
I loved my childhood. It was so fun. I think of so many good memories that I had. My mom and dad got divorced when I was 3-ish. So I grew up with my mom and my only brother. And my grandparents also really involved. So it's very family oriented, I'd say my childhood was.
Okay. And how old were you when you started playing sports?
The youngest that I can remember was my elementary 5th grade basketball team, or we also did girls on the run in 3rd grade. So I feel those two were my peak where it all began.
What is Girls on the Run? I have no idea what that is.
I can't remember what it was, but I think it was a 5K.
Okay.
But I think just a bunch of schools trained to run a 5K for I don't even know if it was a 5K, but it was fun.
I've seen it. Seems fun.
Okay, so it's just a club where you just train to run.
Yeah, and I think like there was maybe it was possibly a fundraiser. I really have no idea.
It could have been literally anything. You have no idea.
Yeah, no clue. I just know me and my friends went on and ran.
At the school I volunteered at, they had like a girls on the run. And I don't know if it's the same, but it was just like a bunch of elementary aged kids. And they would just run around like in the school, just run around the school, just like over and over. They would just like run. And I remember the kids I volunteered with were always jealous because they wanted to run in the halls and they weren't allowed to run in the halls. But all these little kids were out there running in the halls and they didn't understand why they also couldn't run in the halls. I'm like, well, they're in a program to do this. So. But it seemed fun. It was like the cool thing. Yeah, it seemed very cool to be a part of like Girls on the Run.
So, did doing Girls on the Run make you want to start running track?
I think yes, because like even when I was like playing tag as a little kid, like I just loved to run, like absolutely loved to run. And like my older brother also ran track in high school and like was good at it. So I was like, wait, like maybe like our family's like good at track or something like that. So I think that definitely like kick-started my love for running.
What did you run in track?
Freshman year I ran I think like the 400 and the 200. And then sophomore year, I started getting into hurdles. And then they're like, wait, this is actually kind of fun. So then I kept on hurdling.
I always see like videos of people doing hurdles where they just like don't make it. Is that pretty common to like try and jump the hurdle and just like completely or no?
I'd say like during in competition, like it does happen just because like it just misstep or whatnot. But like for the most part, like people usually get over like so for the competition I'd say it's like 50-50. But like I feel like at every meet at least one person probably falls.
Is it fun though to do hurdles? It just seems scary and like very risky.
It is, but like it's probably very dramatic, but it kind of like feels like you're flying.
Yeah.
Like once like you get into like the fast pace of it, like hit your 3 steps and then like go, like it's fun, it's intense. And like you're just so like zoned in that you don't realize what's going on. Like you don't even get to think about how like fun and scary it is. So it's just like get to beat your heart running.
I know there's also the other one where you run as fast as you can and then you jump into the sand. Is that?
Oh, long jump. I tried that once in the cold and then I like pulled my hamstring. So yeah, didn't do that.
Okay.
But no, that does seem fun. And there's like the triple jump. I'm not sure if they do that in high school or some high schools, but like you have to like that seems really, really interesting.
Yeah, I did track for like not even a year. I wasn't very good. So I was like also like 13. And it was rough. It was really rough. I remember just like running. I think I did the 400. It was not a good time for me personally. I'm glad you enjoy it though, but
Yeah, I also did track for a year and I did the 400, the 800, the 4x4 and the 4x8. It was horrible.
Yeah, 400, not it in any way, shape, or form.
they also tried to get me to do shot put, I believe.
Sienna's also like 4'11" and she's very small, so I'm not really sure.
Yeah, it didn't go well at all. Like, actually, I think they put me in it for like a day, and they were like instantly they kept all the other kids in it, and they just like pulled me out. Like, no, we gotta find something else for me because I like just like couldn't. I don't even know why they thought it was like a good idea to like have me try it. I don't look strong. I'm not like, but it was fun.
Yeah, we just need you to come sit over here for a minute.
Yeah, really. Like so. For all my experience.
So, Liz, let's get to just why you're on here today, all right? Your sophomore year when you were running hurdles. Why don't you talk about that season a little bit, just in general?
Yes. So that season, sophomore year was when I first started hurdling. So it's like kind of new thing to me, like trying to learn all the technique and whatnot. And I mean, it was really fun. I caught on pretty fast. Like I love my hurdling coach. It's a good time all around. So then that year I won I want to say regional. It was like for my event. Okay, I can't remember if it was the 100 hurdles or 300 hurdles. tops. I know. One of those two.
Okay, how is the 300 hurdles, first of all, any fun? That's so long to be running hurdles.
No, that I would have to agree with you. And the only like comfort you have is knowing that they're shorter. But like it just kills you when you get to the last home stretch. You're just like, I like not only do I have to run, but I also have to jump. So very crazy.
Right. Okay, so you're unsure of what you were winning in, but it was one of those.
Yeah, something. It's like, and then the top two, because I think I got first in one and second in the other, and then like top two automatically, winners at regionals automatically qualify for state. So that year I qualified for the 100 hurdles and the 300 hurdles for state. And at state meet, for some of the sprinting events, since there's a lot of them, or a lot of sprinters that automatically qualify from all the regions, to kind of weed out the fastest, they have prelims. So for some of the sprinting events, you'll run a time, or you'll run, and basically the winners of that goes to the finals, or if there's semifinals. I think we only had two. So for me, I had to do 100-meter hurdle prelim. So I'm not sure if like top two or top whatever made it to then. So in my heat, I was coming off pretty strong, blah, blah, blah. And then my lead leg was my right leg.
What is a lead leg?
So basically when like you go over the hurdle, like you kind of look like this. And like the leg that goes over first is going to be your lead leg, and then the other one kind of snaps over. So my right leg was my lead leg. So I went over the hurdle with my right leg, and then my left knee clipped the hurdle. So my body kind of turned to the right, and like all that force, and like my leg was just stuck. So my right femur just went, and that was me. And I just remember every time I tell the story, people are like, well, did you finish the race? I was like, my leg was broken. Like I'm not. I was like, it wasn't at the finish line. Like it was over a hurdle in the middle. So like I obviously like I just collapsed right then and there.
You're like, Liz, toughen up and finish the race.
See, you think? I mean, if I could, I would have. You know?
Crawl.
Exactly. Like every time people ask that, I was just like, am I not telling the story in a way that seems like realistic? But I was just like, yeah, no, I could not do that. See, my leg just out of commission over there.
So did you know that, like, did you know what happened, or you're just like, oh no, I can't move?
So because I've never like gotten hurt like seriously, like maybe I rolled an ankle or something. So like I didn't really like know what was going on, but like the pain was like awful, like unbearable, like it was just rough. So I don't know why I like tried to have the common sense to like lift my leg. Like I tried to like get up or lift my leg, and like the bottom half was just dangling there. So I was just like, yeah, I don't think these are together, you know? And so like when the trainer came over, I was like, yeah, like I think it's broken, blah, blah. And like it's very like hard to break your femur, and like kind of like doesn't really happen every day. So I like the athletic trainer was like, I don't really know. And I was like, yeah, girl, like this isn't right. So like they couldn't really move me off the track. So like the event was like stalled until like the ambulance came for me. And I was like, it was just like embarrassing because like obviously like I'm hurt, I can't really do anything, but like people don't know that. Like they just think I fell or something and I just can't get up. So like I'm just laying on the track, and like all my teammates over there, and they're like, Liz, like what's wrong? My grandma's there, my mom's there. It's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I can't talk right now.
Busy.
But yeah, so then like the ambulance came. I feel like it was like maybe like 20 to 30 minutes. And so then like they wheeled me out in the ambulance. But I was just like, oh, very awkward.
So how long did it take for them to tell you that you had broken your leg?
So I got an x-ray that day. So I think I knew by like definitely by the end of the day. So I think like maybe like 4 or 5 they said, but I couldn't have surgery that day because I had eaten before. For not like they had like waited out my system, how medicine works. So I had surgery scheduled for the next day, the next morning.
Wow. Did they give you any like medication to help with the pain? Like, how was the pain level?
Yeah, no, it was definitely rough. They did give me some pain medicine. I don't know what it was, but they gave it to me whenever I needed it. But they had to put, I don't even know what it was called, but just some kind of like stent or some weight that like hung off the bed. Like they kind of drilled something into my leg and like the weight hung over. So like while I was sleeping, like for the entire time that I was like in bed, like that my bones like wouldn't move anymore or something like that. So kind of way to straighten out my leg. And I just remember that part was awful. Like it was just like my leg was already in pain, like with the weight hanging off of it. Like it was very, very rough. So, pain awful.
I would just want to be knocked out cold. I'd be like, somebody just put me out. Like, wake me up like a week from now. Just like induce me into a
Exactly.
coma. Like, let me heal and like revive me. Like, I wouldn't want no part in that. Not interested. Thank you.
Exactly. I do remember being up like most of the day and like most of the night because like I could sleep through the pain and whatnot. But I also had like some people like come and visit me in the hospital, so like that was fun.
It was really fun.
Yeah, it's like, hey, thanks everyone, thanks for coming to see me. But like that, I guess that part made it bearable. But yeah, other than that, no thanks.
I'm pretty sure you told me this. If this is not correct, I'll take it out. But didn't you say that if you like when people break their femur, they can die because like how their bone breaks, it can like cut your blood vessel or something?
Yeah, so your femoral, I don't know if I'm saying this right, like femoral artery is in, I'm not sure if it's in both of your legs or one of them, basically near femur and whatnot. So if my bone would have like went through my femoral artery, like I could have died. Cause like I would have bled out, like I wouldn't have got enough time. So yeah, like me picking up my leg, like looking back, not the best move because like the bone could just like slice through, but luckily it didn't. So yeah, it definitely was a near death experience. I didn't realize that until like way later though, because like I was like, oh, it's just a bone. Like you hear about people breaking their legs like all the or breaking bones like all the time. Like oh, like yeah, it sucks. But I didn't think it was like really that serious. And I was like, whoa.
So, but basically, after it happened, you couldn't like move, I'm assuming, or walk until like post surgery. Like, so once you got into the ambulance and you were on the bed, you were just like on the bed. Like, was there any getting up or anything?
No, for I don't even remember walking. I remember one day I did walk like when I had to go do rehab or something like that. Like, but no, as soon as like from the hospital, like they or from the triage, like they put me on a gurney in the hospital. Like when I went to go do all my X-rays and stuff, like I was already on the hospital bed, and then like I was put into the hospital room. But like before my surgery, there was not like no pressure on it at all.
So after you had surgery, how did they like fix? They put like a rod or something in your leg, I assume.
Yes.
Yeah, like what was the surgery? Like how long and stuff did it take? And like what do you know like how they mended it?
I have no idea how long it took because I was out and it was just so long ago. But there's a rod in my thigh, and it's like the size of a pencil, they say. And then I have some screws like near my knee at the bottom of it to kind of like I guess it's to hold it in there. I don't know. And then I have some like in my hip too to like I guess feel that in the middle because my break was like a clean break in two, so they had to put that in there to fuse it all back together.
What was your recovery process?
So luckily it happened like in summertime, so like I kind of like didn't have to worry about school as much. Like I started finals, and then like I got to basically I was in a wheelchair for a long time. Well, yes, I mean mostly I stayed on my couch at the beginning of the summer. But so I remember I was in the wheelchair. Actually, it wasn't that long. I thought maybe it was like 2 weeks or something like that. And then I moved to crutches, like around the house, because that was obviously easier. And then I went from two crutches to one. And but I remember I always had a really bad like limp after a while, just because like I would walk it because like that leg wasn't as strong. So I feel like that was the hardest part to get over. And like when people look at my leg, like I don't have a cast or anything. So like when I had to sit down and like have to have my leg extended all the way out, they're like, "What's wrong with you? Like, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's actually broken." And I guess that was just kind of like the weird part of the recovery. And then in the fall, I started physical therapy at, I actually don't remember what it's called. um, and then after I got cleared through physical therapy, then I got released to our physical trainer. Or wait, athletic trainer. If Pam's listening to this, I love you.
Shout out to Pam.
Yeah, so I got released to Pam, and then like we started really doing more like athlete type stuff, because like during physical therapy is more like just trying to get like my strength back, like regular kind of type everyday type of thing. And then with Pam it was more like, since the season that was coming up was basketball season, like being able to like do those quick moves and whatnot. So then after that I could do like a little bit of practice and whatnot, and then eventually I was back.
Does it like make you more prone to future injuries or like anything like that? Or I guess I don't know.
Not that I know of. I mean, I would say like if anything, like the opposite. Like this team right here is strong. Got a metal rod there to support me.
Yeah, okay. See, I hear that too sometimes. Like when your breaks, that when it kind of heals, it heals with like almost like more like covering on it, and it's actually stronger. So I sometimes I think it's stronger, but then other times you would think like, I don't know, if it was still injured, it might be more likely to relapse. Like you hear about people re-injuring things. So I don't know with you how that had turned out, but I'm glad it's good. It's nice and sturdy.
Yeah, so far so good. I definitely still put it to work.
What do you think was the hardest part of like your recovery?
I'd say probably my hardest part was the mental recovery, just because when I did eventually go back into sports, it was like not, I guess not really trusting my like rehab and my abilities, because like in basketball you do like so many short like quick turns and whatnot. So I think it was really hard to me to try to like trust my leg and like try to go full force, because I was scared like, oh, something's gonna go wrong, like set me back, or like I wasn't strong enough to do those things. So I'd say definitely that. And then like especially coming back to track season, like that, I think that was definitely like a big like mental hurdle that I needed to get over, like trying to get back at it. So definitely say the mental recovery is probably the hardest thing for me, to try to like trust myself, my abilities.
Yeah, I guess following that, did you continue to do the like hurdles in the track meets and stuff?
So I didn't do the 100-meter hurdles, because that was one that I broke my leg in, but I did eventually get back to the 300-meter hurdles.
Yeah, because I feel like I'd be really hesitant to like go right back to what just broke my femur in half. Like,
Exactly. So I definitely got back into the 300-meter hurdles, and like as I said, that season was like a really hard like comeback season. But I remember that I really don't know if this is true. I guess I should really fact check. But at regionals again that year, I placed either one or two, and so I made it back to state for the 300-meter hurdles that year. So I think that was a big like woohoo moment for me, because like finally being able to see like all the hard work that I put into it like come back to life, and like realize like I am strong enough to do this again. So I think that was definitely like a big help.
yeah, I guess was there any points like in your recovery or like right when it happened that you weren't sure that you were gonna go back to sports, or did you always know like you want to fully recover and like continue to play?
I definitely had that discussion, because my family was like you saw what like happened, like obviously it could be worse. Do you want to go back into sports? And I knew that I did want to go back into sports, because that was like such a big part of my life. But I guess I was kind of worried about, would I be able to compete at the athletic abilities that I was before? I think that was like basically my biggest thing. And it kind of makes me want to work harder to try to like get back to where I was, and don't say, oh, she broke her leg, like that's why she's slow, you know?
Yeah, was it like, did it make a difference, or was that just kind of like a mental thing too?
um
I mean, obviously like this is it's probably like the most out of shape you've ever been, like at this point, right? Because you have been playing so many sports for so long, and then you had to take off a lot of time. Do you think that it was just because like you weren't as good of shape, or because you broke your leg was actually slowing you down?
I think it would mostly have to be with like me being out of shape, because like to get back into like the track fitness that you want, like it takes a lot. So I was happy that like I had basketball as a season to kind of like really reintroduce me to the sports world and that competitive aspect rather than hopping straight into track. Like, I think that really helped me and motivated me. But yeah, I definitely don't think that my leg was like held me back in any way, shape, or form. Like once I got the all clear to play, like I think like I was really clear to play.
Did you do anything specifically to get back in shape?
Once I like started getting back into like the training for like track, I texted my my hurdling coach, and he would like kind of like send me like workouts or stuff to what to do, just like to focus more on my form rather than like trying to like if there was a part of my leg that was weaker, like instead of like trying to like get around that, like really work on trying to like perfect it and make that part of my leg stronger. So I definitely would say like there were some times like my coach was like, oh, you should be running like 3 miles, like 30 minutes, like no sweat, easy, nice and pain free. So, like just every once in a while, like there is extra like little things.
Do you have any advice for someone that has suffered? It doesn't even have to be the same injury, I suppose, but like an injury and they want to get back to sports or just to working out.
I guess my advice would be that like I guess okay like realize what's important to you and like how hard you want to work back to get at it. Because like I realized like I've always been like a competitor, like I've wanted to do something fit, like so I always knew I wanted to get back to that. So I guess my motivation would be not to give up and to just keep pushing hard, but also not to like go over. Like do what the physical therapist says. They know what to do. Trust the science.
Do you think that your leg like affects you now at all, or is it all good?
No, I did worry because freshman year of college I did rowing, and a lot of that is on your leg, and you're just doing hard impact over time and time. And so for a moment I thought, oh, like what if that's not like good for me? But no, like that was perfectly fine. Like I even talked to Pam sometimes. I'd be like, yeah, like just roll, like just fine. So no, I definitely don't think that like now, like sometimes I kind of forget that I broke my leg. Like I have like a few scars, but I definitely don't think it's something that like I really am conscious of just because like it feels like back to normal.
Yeah. And then is the surgery, it's just good for life?
Yeah, at least that's what they told us.
Like they just put the rod in and you're all set?
Yeah, I did go back every few months so I could check up and whatnot at the original hospital that I'd had the surgery at.
Does it go off through metal detectors?
No, they did say that sometimes they like if it's like high like energy, I don't know what's a high X-ray, that it might go off. But they said because it's so thin that I haven't had any trouble with it. But if like sometimes they like weird like do the scanner by my leg, I was like, oh yeah, like I have a rod in my leg. I think maybe that's happened like once, but usually not. It was like at the airport, it's just like, nope, send me through.
Yeah, I was curious if you ever walk through and it like goes off and you're like, oh, like not this again. Like,
yeah, no.
like I swear.
Okay, well, thanks for coming on with us today.
Thanks for having me. This is fun.
Your big story of triumph.
Yeah. Perseverance.
I love that. Thank you. It means a lot. It means a lot.
I do remember the day, I think this was, you broke your leg like the day before I graduated high school. And you texted me and you're like, no, she said, I'm so sorry I can't come to your graduation. I said, Liz, you broke your leg. Thinking you're having surgery. What are you talking about?
I know. I I felt so bad. Wow. I definitely do remember that text. I was like, Madison, like, I'm so sorry. I know I said I'd go to your graduation, but like, I can't.
I can't make it.
And then you came to my party though.
I did.
And I'm pretty sure you were pushed around in a wheelchair.
Most definitely.
Or you just stayed in the car. One of the two, I don't remember.
No, I remember I was pushed on in a wheelchair, but then like when we left, I took selfies with everyone at their event. Like I didn't take one with you. So then you had to come out to my car. Like I was like packed away in the back seat. I was like, selfie.
Yeah.
Did they ever get worried about blood clots? Like when you're sitting in your wheelchair? Was that like a thing at all? Or no?
No.
Because I know, like, obviously, if you're not like walking around, it's kind of not good for your blood.
So my first couple weeks out of the hospital, like anywhere that I was, where my wheelchair couldn't go through, like I would crutch through. So I mean, I guess I got a little variation, and like when I need to go to the bathroom, like I would be like up and down. So like my blood did get a bit more flowing, but yeah, yeah, but not that I know of. My doctors weren't worried about any blood clots or anything. So
okay, I mean we're young, so it's like I assume they'd be a lot less worried than they would if you're old. But I know it might just depend on the doctor. But I know a few people who like when they were kind of in their bed, not necessarily a wheelchair, but more bed bound. Just for a few days, they were already getting like nervous that it was getting like too stagnant. But that's good that you were doing a little bit of movement. You're safe and healthy, so clearly it worked out.
Yeah, just a tad.
Sorry.
Oh God.
Okay. Well, Liz, thanks for coming on here. Is there anything else that you wanted to say?
Thank you for having me. Not that I could think of. I just want to say thank you for letting me have this opportunity. I love your guys' podcast. I'm excited to be a part of it.
Oh, thank you. It was lovely having you on today.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you.
Well, we will talk to you later.
Okay, see you.
Bye. Thank you again.
Thanks so much again to Liz for being the guest on our show today. If you have a story you want to personally share on the show or want us to read on air, find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at justapersonpod, or send us an email at justapersonpod@gmail.com. And we'll see you next Monday with another new episode.